Hey guys, it's your boy Caveman again. I hope you guys liked the last one. If you found it helpful, please don't forget to share. Mastering is not really a dark art, but a lot of people don't really get the information that they need. So I really appreciate all the love and support you guys been giving me so far. Thank you. Oh yeah, before we begin, I always have to say this, I always forget. If you haven't subscribed already, shame on you. So these are the pairs of headphones that I use on a regular basis. So if you were just here, you just wanted to quickly check out what I'm using, this is it. This is the end of the video for you. But for those of you who are curious as to why I chose them, I think it's important to note before we continue that everyone's ears are different. So this is just my opinion. I would encourage you to go and try these out for yourselves. Make sure they're sanitized whatsoever. Some of the stores, they may not entertain that. But if you're in a smaller city, mom and pop shop, I'm sure they'll be more than happy. And of course, support local. So these Sennheiser 650s are one of my favorite pairs for vocals. If you're looking for a pair of headphones to listen to vocal genres, so vocal jazz, pop, acoustic, anything that has an intimate sound, you want something that's warm, nice and close, the HD650s blow most headphones out of the water. But the 650s I use primarily for tracking vocalists, because vocals are the most important element of a song. The Audio Technica ATH-R70Xs are a very, very unique breed. I'm gonna try to keep it nice and short. I'm gonna shoot a whole video with my roommate about this pair of headphones. I would describe the sound as neutral. There are no other pairs of headphones in the world that I've heard to date that sound similar to these guys. They do have a hi-fi line, which has more of a smiley curve. And then they have the M line, and those are closed backs. These are open backs, so they're completely different animals. These I use for producing for sure, and I definitely use them for mixing because they're super, super light. So just comfort alone, these are amazing. These guys have a little bit of a clamp force, but these guys are amazing for comfort. The sound itself, it gives me a little bit of everything in a compact package, without losing too much of the soundstage. So this is a very intimate sounding headphone. So if you're looking for space, you gotta look somewhere else. Okay, so now we get to the beefcake section of the video. You guys are curious. So I use these pairs specifically for mastering. I do not use these for mixing. The LCD-Xs are heavy as shit. So if you, like me, I have a smaller frame and I have a skinny ass neck. My neck and my shoulders are in pain every single time I wear these for more than a couple hours. I have a 15-minute timer that I set. So every 15 minutes my timer goes off. I have to take them off, do stretches, take a water break whatsoever, and then put these back on. Weight alone is enough to turn people away for this headphone, unfortunately. In terms of sound, is very similar to the 650s in terms of intimacy, but detail-wise, these behave kind of like the R70s, where they give you depth and everything. So these are like a super steroid version of the 650s and the R70s together, with more extension on the top end and subs as well. Another fundamental difference between these two is the way that they present bass, because when you're talking about specifically mastering, right, these are headphones that I use specifically for mastering. When you talk about mastering, it's all about the low end, like I described in the previous video. If you don't get the low end right, it doesn't matter what you put on top of it or do with the stuff that's on top of it. If the low end is not right, the building or whatever you build on that foundation is just going to collapse. The way these guys present bass, because planars have to move, they don't travel as fast as coils, right? These guys are coils. They move this is magnets. These guys, they have to move, and they have to present sound like this, like plates. So because they're a little bit slower, people describe their low end presentation as a pluck kind of sound, like speakers. So I was looking for a pair of headphones when I was trying to learn how to do it without speakers that behave like speakers. I was like, what is the closest thing that I can get to strapping a pair of massive mastering grade speakers to the side of my head with a headband. And these were it. If you're looking to get into headphones and you're having issues or you're having a difficult time transitioning from speakers to headphones, I would recommend trying a pair of Planar dynamic headphones. The Sennheiser HD800Ss are not for everyone. And I'll tell you this right now. There's left field, which I was on, and I was trying to go right field and I couldn't, and I sold it. Okay, these are not cheap. These headphones, they are not cheap headphones. When you buy a pair of 800Ss or 800s, that's an investment, right? So I didn't just buy it on a whim. I went in fully committed, and I really tried with the 800s, and I just couldn't do it. So I sold it, right? I don't buy gear for the sake of buying gear. So I was really disappointed. So for me to give them another try shows how much I really wanted to establish a relationship with this headphone. And I finally did this year. I might make a whole video dedicated to the 800Ss and how I use it, but these are the most spacious sounding headphones I have ever heard once I have learned them. Okay, you're never gonna find a more spacious pair. They make higher end models, but these are by far the most popular pair that audiophiles get for space. So if you're listening to, sometimes I master movie scores, sometimes I master classical compositions mostly. Anything that requires space, rock records that are arena rock style, I use these. For metal, I use these. For hard rock, like for mids and stuff, for thicker, modern pop rock, I use this. So you can see how I couldn't choose one over the other, even though they were both each respective company's linear pair. Because even within the rock genre, I use both these pairs for their respective lanes. For hip hop though, and R&B and vocals, anything to do with vocal, snare, kick, 808 texture in the mid range, I use those for sure. I definitely use those. I may pop these on like sometimes on those hip hop stuff to check like how wide and stuff, but hip hop is all about that low end and that bass and how it hits or plucks and how that snare pop. For checking the direction of transients though, I use this. So when I'm trying to learn a new limiter, when I'm trying to hear like 0.1 millisecond differences, I use this. These can't keep up because the Planars can't swing as fast. I need these to hear, especially stuff like when there's a big transient, like a big kick hit. I need to be able to hear how the detail, am I losing detail? Is it smearing when there's a big kick drum or when there's a big transient? These can't keep up. These, when you listen to Hans Zimmer scores, they don't have a very wide soundstage. They're not made for that. They're not tuned that way. Second of all, these actually almost have zero sibilance ever. Again, because they can't travel as fast, the high frequency range doesn't go as high. In hip hop, the genre, you're not talking about extension. It's all about the low end and how it presents itself and how it punches and all that. With EDM, it's about the extension and how fucking massive and wide and spacious you can get the stuff to sound on the drop. It has to explode and in a galaxy of colors and explosions and all that beautiful stuff and all that depth and all. You need it with this, because on the drop, that when that big hit happens, things can't smear. You lose that like sparkle effect, that explosion, like glass exploding effect, if a big hit happens and all that detail kind of crumbles or smears. It's not clear anymore, right? So you need this when I'm working with very fast release times. But yeah, those are fundamentally the differences between the two and why it's important to hang on to both pairs for me personally. Shit.